Week 2 starts and sits. The Dolphins defense made Daniel Jones look like a Hall of Famer last week. So I think Drake May is a must start this week going up against that terrible Dolphins defense. Travis Etienne ran for 143 yards against this crappy Panthers defense. It was like Moses parting the Red Sea. That's how bad it was. I'm huge on James Conner going up against them this week. Braylon Allen is no threat to Breece Hall. He had only 6 carries and was only out there for 31% of the snaps in week 1. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Catching a Vibe. I'm Drew, and today we got the week 2 starts and sits. Hope you guys did well in week 1. Let's get right into the Thursday night game. Commanders versus Packers. Must starts for this game is Jayden Daniels. I know the Packers defense looked really well. I mean, they shut down the Lions offense last week, but Jayden's running upside makes him an elite quarterback option. He completed 63% of his passes for 233 yards and ran the ball 11 times for 68 yards. You got to play him. Josh Jacobs is another must start for me. I think he's one of the best running backs in the game, and he's a true bell cow back for the Packers. He took 42 out of 48 snaps in week 1. He had 19 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, he's a must start. Starts. Scary Terry, I think he bounces back this week. You know, he missed all that time due to contract disputes. Now, I think he's going to cook up. And I have Debo as a start as well. He showed great chemistry with Jayden, had 7 catches for 77 yards and a rushing touchdown, so they're using him kind of like how the 49ers did, getting a couple carries, and Eckler's banged up, so that could open up Debo and JCM. You know, everyone was high on this guy in the preseason. He looked pretty good. He had 10 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown. Eckler possibly missing his game. I think he's going to be out there more. I like him as an RB2 option here. Sits. I got Zach Ertz here. I think he's too touchdown dependent for my liking. He had 3 catches for 26 yards. No thanks. I don't feel comfortable starting him. Tucker Kraft is another guy who's super touchdown dependent as well. Wouldn't play him either. He had 2 catches for 16 yards. Absolutely not. Jayden Reed. I know he had a decent game last week, but he only played 51% of the snaps, and he's battling a foot injury, so I would sit him this week. Giants versus Cowboys must start CeeDee Lamb. He was dominating in the first half against the Eagles. Then the delay came back, forgot how to catch passes. I think he bounces back. You know, he's been on the jugs every day. He's catching 100 passes a day. I think he's going to have a great week 2. And Malik Neighbors did not have a great week 1. A lot of receiver ones didn't produce. But he got 12 targets. His high target share is what's going to keep him in and make him a must start. So sooner rather than later, Malik Neighbors is going to perform really great. Starts. Javonte Williams. He looked really good against the Eagles. He had 15 carries, 54 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Cowboys offense looks good, so he should have chances to get in the red zone, and he took majority of the snaps. It wasn't a committee like some people thought it would be. He had 77% of the snaps, so there's no real threat to him as of right now. So I think Javonte is a good play, good RB2 flex play. Then if you have Tyron Tracy, I would look at him as a flex play this week. Going up against a weak Cowboys defense. He was a clear starter for the Giants in week 1. He took majority of the snaps. Scatterbo was actually 3rd, and a lot of people were thinking he would be the starter. He's clearly not as of right now. So I like Tracy as well. Sits. Dak, I think, will be good and looked good against the Eagles, but as of right now, I can't have him as a starting quarterback option. And the Giants defense is tough. They're very talented with the front 4 with Brian Burns. They got Abdul Carter as well. I like their front 4. I'm sitting Dak this week. NFL young boy George Pickens. He only got 4 targets in the opener, So I'm low on him right now. Not sure what his role is going to be. He's a deep threat, but I can't play a guy who's only getting 4 targets. And Jake Ferguson, I wouldn't start either. Just he's not that elite tight end option unless you were down horrendous on tight ends, then I would play Ferguson. Seahawks versus Steelers. Must start. JSN had a really good week 1 against the 49ers. He had 13 targets, 9 catches for 124 yards. JSN and Darnold were in sync. You got to start JSN. Starts. Jalen Warren and DK Metcalf are 2 solid starts. I like them more as flex options. The clear 2 best weapons on the Steelers, and A-Rod. I think you could start A-Rod potentially. He looked really good last week against his former team. If you don't have an elite quarterback, maybe give Rodgers a shot. Sits. Kenneth Walker. No clear RB1. Wouldn't start Kenneth. Charbonnet outsnapped him 30-21. So I'm low on Kenneth Walker right now. Then Cooper Kupp, he was just doing cardio out there in week 1. He's a sit as well. Rams versus Titans. Must starts. Puka Nacua. This guy was about the only receiver 1 that performed in week 1. And his eyeball was bleeding, for Christ's sake. He was just showing grit on Sunday. He had 10 catches for 130 yards. Puka is a elite option every week, so you don't have to worry if McVay's going to get him involved or not. Stafford's going to throw to Puka. Kyren Williams had 18 carries and a touchdown. He scores a lot of touchdowns. He's second in touchdowns since 2023. So with that touchdown upside, he's a must start as well. Starts Davante Adams, I would feel okay about him as a flex since he's in a good offense, and he was out there 90% of the snaps. He'll start cooking eventually, guys. Then for your Titans, I got Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley. They had better matchups this week. Both were out there 90% of the snaps as well. Pollard got 18 carries and Ridley got 8 targets with Surtain on him. So I think better days are for both of them. Sit Cam Ward. Another tough defense for the rookie. I'd stay away from him this week as well. Bills versus Jets. Must starts. Josh Allen, the best quarterback in fantasy and in the league. He had a great game against the Ravens. That was such an awesome game to watch. Starts. James Cook is a threat to score from anywhere. He had 13 carries and 5 catches and a touchdown. He scored a lot of touchdowns last year. Maybe he'll do it again this year. Keon Coleman, I would understand why you would start him since he broke out last week for 25. But I would worry a little bit because Sauce is probably going to be on this week. Khalil Shakir is a safe 12-point flex option if you don't have a great flex option. Shakir is a reliable pick here. And Dalton Kincaid had a down year last year. I think he could pick it up. I mean, he has Josh Allen as his quarterback. So if you had Kittle as your tight end, I would put Kincaid in as the starter this week. Then the Jets, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields are all starts for me. I thought the Steelers defense was going to shut them down, man. Man, did they look good against the Steelers defense. Breece had 19 carries and Garrett Wilson had 95 receiving yards and a touchdown. This might be a fun offense to watch. Justin Fields was versatile. He was running, he was throwing, he was doing his thing as well. So those 3 Jets players, I would start. They got the hot hand right now. Sits Braylon Allen. He's no threat to Breece as of right now. He had 6 carries and was only out there 31% of the snaps. So definitely sitting Braylon Allen. Patriots versus Dolphins. Must starts is Drake May. The Dolphins made Danny Dimes look like a Hall of Famer last week. I think Drake could have a huge day against the Dolphins. Drake looked good against this Raiders team who has a pretty good defense. He completed 65% of his passes and 3 for 287 yards. I think he's going to have a safe floor this week. Starts. Ramondre Stevenson led the Patriots in snaps, so he's RB1. I think he has chances to score against this crappy Dolphins defense. Hunter Henry is Drake's security blanket, so I think he's worth a start as well. Sits Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle. They all looked bad Sunday. No shot on playing them. I mean, they're already talking about firing McDaniels, so it's bad news in Miami right now. So I'm not playing them. And Travion Henderson only played 31% of the snaps. I think they're easing him into the offense, so I'm not ready to play him yet. Jaguars versus Bengals. Must starts Jamar, Joe Burrow, Chase Brown. The Bengals offense always struggles to start the season. They will cook this weekend eventually against his non-elite Jags defense. So you got to start those three. And BTJ, he struggled in week 1, only grabbing 1 catch on 7 targets, but he had a decent amount of targets. He'll bounce back. You got to start him again. Starts T. Higgins, has a better cornerback matchup against Jones. Travis Etienne could have a bounce back season. He had a great week 1. And then the Jags traded Tank Bigsby. So I don't think you have to worry about Travis Etienne losing his position anytime soon. Travis Hunter, he got 8 targets, so he could be in line for a good week 2 as a flex. Sits, Noah Fant, played really well against the Browns, but Jamar and T are going to get majority of the targets this week. 49ers versus Saints. Must start CMC. He looked really good last week. 22 carries and 9 catches. Now Kittle is going on IR. And Purdy could miss week 2. So this screams high game script for Christian McCaffrey. He's going to perform like Boobie Miles did in Friday Night Lights. He was running the ball, throwing, and catching. CMC is going to do it all this week against the Saints. Starts, if Purdy starts, I would definitely start him and Ricky Pearsall. Pearsall had 4 catches for 107 yards. He is the clear 49ers receiver 1 right now. And Alvin Kamara, about the only good start option on the Saints. Definitely start AK. Sits. Chris Olave, man. He got in there, hospital bed pass. Will Johnson lit him up. Can this guy catch a break? I feel so bad for Chris Olave. I gotta sit him this week. Browns versus Ravens. Must starts Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. These both scored 29 points in week 1, and they're 2 of the best players in fantasy. So, of course, they are a must start. Starts Zay Flowers. Has a tough matchup against the Browns secondary with Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome, but lines primarily in the slot. So the Ravens get creative trying to get him in space and get open, so he could have another good week. Mark Andrews, he has 11 touchdowns in 14 games against the Browns. I like him scoring 1 this week. I'm giving Jerry Jeudy another shot this week. I think Jeudy is a clear receiver 1 on the Browns. He had a couple drops in week 1. I think he corrects those mistakes and has a good game. I mean, we saw the Ravens secondary get cooked against the Bills receivers last week. So Jeudy could be in line for a good game. Dylan Sampson has some good value here. He looked like a very solid player. He got 6 catches. So Judkins is just now practicing. He's not going to be the clear RB1 yet. So I like Dylan Sampson right now. David Njoku, you have one more shot, buddy. If Harold Fanning outperforms him again, I will drop him for Harold Fanning. Sits Rashad Bateman. I only got a few catches and targets, not high on him this week against the Browns. Bears versus Lions. Must start Jahmyr Gibbs. The Lions looked like hot garbage last week against the Packers, but Jahmyr got 10 catches. The Lions will figure it out, guys. So I like Jahmyr this week. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he struggled last week as well, but last year he struggled in week 1 too. He only scored 4 points in week 1 last year, so I think he bounces back this year. Bounces back this week, so I wouldn't stress about him either. Starts DJ Moore. DJ has 6 touchdowns in 7 games against the Lions, so he could score a touchdown this week. And Caleb missed them on a deep route. Hopefully, Caleb corrects his mistake and hits DJ for a touchdown this week. Sits Caleb Williams. Still not sure if he's good or not, to be honest with you. He has high upside, but high potential just hasn't proved anything to me yet. David Montgomery, he's not involved in the passing game at all, and Jahmyr Gibbs is getting more of the snaps. I think he's going to have a huge touchdown reception this year. Broncos versus Colts must start Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren, the clear 2 best options on the Colts. Their must starts every week. Starts Courtland Sutton and J.K. Dobbins both performed really well in week 1, and I like their matchup against the Colts. Sits Bo Nix, Evan Ingram, and Michael Pittman. Pittman's going up against Surtain. That's why I'm low on him this week. Panthers versus Cardinals must starts James Conner versus the Panthers. They let Travis Etienne rush for 143 yards. Their defense is god awful against the run. It's like Moses parting in the Red Sea. I mean, I could hit the A gap and maybe rush for 8 yards on a run. Starts Kyler Murray, Trey McBride are all starts this week against a terrible Panthers defense. Chuba Hubbard is the only fantasy relevant player on the Panthers. He's a start as well. Sits Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm worried about Marvin's matchup against Horn. I'm not high on him this week. Chiefs versus Eagles, the Super Bowl rematch. I'm excited to watch this game. Must start Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. They're all must start. Saquon is the best running back in the game right now, and Jalen Hurts is a dual threat and always has a chance to score on the ground. Patrick Mahomes was throwing the ball a lot in week 1. He had 39 passes and ran 6 times. Jalen Carter is suspended, and the Eagles struggled without him, so Mahomes could have a good game this week. Starts for this game, A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown, and Travis Kelce are starts for me. Hollywood Brown and Travis Kelce have to step up since Xavier Worthy is out. Thanks to Travis. Thank you, Travis, for costing my matchup, for knocking your guy out. I think the Eagles have to get AJ involved early in this game to open the offense up. So I expect AJ Brown to bounce back this week. And Pacheco, he could be a sneaky flex play with the Eagles struggling against the run without Carter. Sits Juju, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Falcons versus Vikings must starts Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson, 2 elite players. They're must starts every week, guys. Starts Aaron Jones was JJ's second most targeted player last week. Dual threat running back. Drake London, if he plays, he's a start for sure. He got 15 targets before getting hurt. Kyle Pitts, I'm not joking, guys. I would start him. He had 7 catches for 59 yards. Sits TJ Hawkinson, 4 points. Are we serious, buddy? Come on. Buccaneers versus Texans, must starts. Baker Mayfield, elite playmakers on this team. Very good quarterback, Bucky Irving. High volume, 14 carries and 4 catches. Starts Emeka Ibuka and Mike Evans. 2 really good receivers. In Nico Collins, I'm praying to God you bounce back this week. Please, I need more than 5 points. Sits Nick Chubb. Texans O-line looked horrible against the Rams. I'm not playing Chubb till they play better. Monday night, Chargers versus Raiders. Must starts Brock Bowers. If he plays, he's banged up. But if he does, best tight end in the league. Starts. Chargers offense was explosive against the Chiefs. I'm starting Herbert, who threw for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ladd McConkey had 6 catches for 74 yards. And Quinn Johnston, 5 catches for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. Amarian Hampton is the lead back again this week. I would start him as well. Ashton Jeanty, high volume, will lead to production, boys. You gotta trust it. And Jacoby Myers is super underrated. This guy gets high amount of targets. sits. Najee Harris, he had 1 rush for 5 yards and an 18% snap count in week 1, boys. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the week 2 starts and sits video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down if you have any questions. Love to hear from you guys. Please give the video a like and subscribe if you're new here. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.